The New York Jets offense was actually good on Sunday. Why was it? Let's talk about it. Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today I'll be talking about the New York Jets offense, and was it Mike LaFleur or Mike White for the reason why the Jets offense was so successful. Now, before we get started today, I just wanted to mention you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out the podcast that comes out every single Wednesday. You can call in, leave me your question. I'll try to get to it on the show. So the Jets won. And it was exciting. It was one of the more random Jet games that I could ever remember watching. Who would have anticipated Mike White coming in and throwing for 405 yards? Something that hasn't been done in 21 years. Just absolutely insane. So obviously the New York Jets offense has struggled for the last 2 years. The last time the Jets had a 400-yard passer was 21 years ago. The last time the Jets put up 30 points was in 2019 against the Raiders. So it's been a really long time. But let's talk about the debate right now on Jets Twitter by Jet fans right now. Is the reasoning behind it Mike LaFleur or is it Mike White? And you have so many people on both sides. Like right now, the beat mostly, and some people who cover the Jets are saying this was all on Mike White. I saw someone, I forget who it was, but someone was talking about it was like 90% Mike White, 10% LaFleur for why the offense was looking good, which that number just sounded a little staggering to me. And then you see the other side, whereas Mike LaFleur was the complete reason, they completely changed the game plan in the offense. And honestly, the answer is probably somewhere in between. I think it's both. So starting with LaFleur, the reason why I don't buy the argument that it was all on Mike White and that it was the exact same thing the Jets have been doing for the last, 6 games at this point, previous to that, was they were so much more willing to throw the ball on first down. Something the Jets rarely ever did with Zach Wilson was let him throw early. What they seemed to like to do was run the ball on first down, run again on second down, and then pass on third. So the opening script was significantly different. I think that I don't think you can question that. And on top of that, they also mixed in a number of trick plays, whether it was the 2-point conversion Philly special, or more end arounds to Elijah Moore. I mean, they have done stuff like that in the past, but not nearly as frequently as what they were doing in these games. Mike LaFleur was really in his bag. He was pulling out the entire, tricks, and the offense was working and working well, and I thought because he made adjustments. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he redesigned the offense this past week. That would be untrue. He didn't redesign the offense. It's the same style. His play calling was just a little bit different, in my eyes at least. Now, something else you have to, bring up here is he was calling plays from up top. That does make a difference because, in his words, he's able to see better and from up there and get like a whole picture of what's happening each play. Rather than being on the sideline, you don't get that same view. So I know that might sound a little bit small and that shouldn't make that much of a difference, but the Jets offense seemed ahead of the Bengals defense all day long. And maybe part of it, again, not the entire thing, but a part of it could have been from him being up there and kind of just seeing how the defense was reacting to certain things from another perspective. So while, yes, Mike White did have a big reason for why the Jets offense was better this week, LaFleur had his fair share in this too. So let's get to Mike White now. I mean, he just executed almost to perfection of what he was supposed to do. The 2 interceptions went right off of Jets players. One went off of Jamison Crowder's hands. The other went off of, I guess it was Michael Carter's face mask. He just didn't turn his head around and look for the ball. So you can't really put that stuff on him. But, I mean, on throws 10 yards and under, 24 of 28, 263 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Now, he was good at getting the ball out. Like, that's when you have a quarterback who may have deficiencies, something that you should do is try to get the ball out quickly. And he executed that to perfection. I mean, you look at his average depth of target, or ADOT. You might have seen that online be talked about. His was at 4.1, which is like insanely low. That means that he wasn't really pushing the ball down the field, which was obvious if you were watching the game. He was all underneath stuff, which is, again, fine, but it kind of brings me back to the Mike LaFleur argument and why it's not all on Mike White, because the Jets seem to try to push the ball down the field. It's more so like long developing plays off of play action, and that's when Zach gets into trouble. Now, this doesn't absolve Zach of everything. He's a rookie quarterback. There's going to be ups and downs. We've said this all along. And at times, yeah, he does hold on to the football too long. And at times, he also tries to force the ball in bad situations. That doesn't mean that you now completely say Zach Wilson was the problem on offense and you have anyone in here and they're going to be able to run this offense. Well, that's not exactly fair either. In this specific game, yes, everything was executed to perfection, but I'm not ready to say, okay, well, because Mike White threw for 400 yards, this guy is clearly the issue and anyone could come in here and perform in this offense. This was just such a random performance. And I swear, I hope I'm wrong, and I hope he throws for 400 again this upcoming week against the I almost said the Tennessee Titans. It's the Indianapolis Colts, who just played the Titans this past week. But everyone needs to calm down a little bit. I am very excited for Mike White's performance. It was the most fun I've had probably all season, and even going back to last season into 2019. It was a really fun day. And again, one of the more random Jets games I've ever seen. Mike White, a backup quarterback in his first NFL start, throwing for over 400 yards with an average depth of target of 4.1 yards. Like, that is just so much of an outlier on so many different perspectives. So I'm excited to see Mike White again this week, and LaFleur too, for how do they adjust now, the two of them, with a week of tape out there. I would imagine that the Colts are going to try to get White to throw the ball down the field. So bringing guys up in the box and loading the box and say, beat me over the top. And we'll see how LaFleur adjusts, and we'll also see how White adjusts to it. But I kind of just wanted to get my take out there. I don't think it's fair to say, oh, this was totally Mike LaFleur, and where was this play calling all year long? And this is just, he didn't do it for Zach. And I also don't think it's fair to say this was all Mike White either. I think it's in the middle. I think it's pretty close to 50-50. So that's just my take on it. Let me know what you think in the comments below or on social media. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll talk to you next time.